Welcome to Huddle Up,
Brought to you by the Fields Auto Group.
Jaguars senior writer John Oehser, NFL Network Analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks, and senior reporter J.P. Shadrick bring you the latest on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Huddle Up starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Wednesday, week 11. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, and a busy show ahead. Our final look at the meltdown. Texans 36, Jaguars 29 in week 10. The first look at the Chargers-Jaguars matchup this Sunday at Everbank Stadium. And Travis Hunter officially announced this week, done for the season. We'll get to all of that coming up on Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. J.P. Shadrick with you. John Oehser joining me in the Hyundai studios of the Miller Electric Center. And Bucky Brooks is in Los Angeles as we will dig deep into this matchup this week against the Chargers, certainly coming up in a little bit. We'll certainly take a look, because we must, one more time at the fourth quarter at Houston last week. But let's start with the news that Travis Hunter officially is done for the season. LCL surgery in his right knee, and the expectation, Bucky, that he'll be back doing football things in about 6 months or so. It's not ideal, certainly, to miss the rest of the season. However, it feels like it could have been a whole lot worse for Travis Hunter. What's your feelings when you heard the news this week?
One, a little bit of surprise and disappointment. You know, you kind of led to believe that he's going to be able to come back at some point. But then when you hear LCL, you hear about the surgery, and then you begin to have concerns, rightfully so, about, okay, what's he going to look like when he comes back? He's going to be able to be the same explosive athlete that he is. And then the question that everyone has, all right, is he going to be able to resume his duties as a two-way player? Naturally, when you have an injury that occurs like this, all of the naysayers have come out the woodwork saying, see, I told you, you can't be a two-way player and that stuff. But I really don't see that being a part of the injury. The injury is the injury, but I don't think it changes how you go about using him in the future. He's a dynamic player, but he's really not a two-way player. He's probably a 1.5-way player that you use sparingly on defense when you need him.
Yeah, my understanding is that the surgery should not have a long-term effect, meaning, when this kid touches the ball, he has magic in his legs. My understanding is this injury surgery, there's no reason that magic will not be there. And as Bucky said, that is the concern, because I'm not so big on, everybody's got a superpower now, JP. You have a superpower, I'm sure. I don't think I do. But that's, his superpower, if you want to use that term, is that. It's that electricity. It's all that ability. I think it's still going to be there. What I wonder, Buck, and I don't think this is anybody's I'm not sure there's a way to avoid this, but this year for 7 or 8 games, it was always, well, what's it going to look like with Travis Hunter this week? Is it going to be X? Is it going to be Y? Is it going to be these snaps on defense? I wonder if they will spend the offseason trying to figure out, okay, this is what, when you open up the present each week, this is what you're going to get. Or is it going to be like opening up a present each week where you don't really know what it's going to look like? Is it okay to have that be what it is with Travis Hunter? Like 80 snaps on defense one week, 10 on offense, and they didn't go to that extreme, but you know what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. Do you have to have a plug-and-play formula where you say, okay, he's going to play in these packages on offense, and then when we're playing an elite guy in the red zone, put him on there? Does it have to be that formulaic going forward, or can you continue to sort of take each week as it comes?
Well, I think the difference this year, next year, as opposed to this year's, next year they have a full off season to kind of plan it out.
Right.
Like when the season ends, they begin to have all the meetings. They can debrief on what went well, what they didn't like, how they can make it better, what they learned from the experiment and the process, and then go forward. To me, it'll probably be planned out a little differently because they can get them up to speed with all the offense because you have a full off season to work with them. And then that should allow you to spend some more time, allowing him to do the secondary position, which I'm going to say is cornerback, where he can work on that and do some of that and go pit it. I think the big thing that the challenge was, it was 3 days offense, 1 day defense, because he was doing so much learning of the offense. If you can kind of get a lot of the learning out the way early in the offseason, then it allows you to have more freedom and flexibility to change his schedule as needed when it comes to those matchups.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, JP, and this is not a negative in the situation, it's what is interesting. Bucky says the ideal and what he'd like to see is all offense and half defense. I sort of lean the other way.
See what the matchup is each week, right?
Well, no, it is 100% defense.
Oh, okay.
With packages on offense. And again, I don't know if they know yet what the ideal is going to be. I think that's going to be a study in the offseason of really digging into it and saying, okay, this is what it is. And, what does our roster need? I think there's a lot of discussions to be had.
Yeah,
JP.
and they've got some other things to attend to right now, like rebounding from the game in Houston last week, and they're the number 7 seed in the AFC playoff race at the moment. Because we must, let's get one final look at that fourth quarter in Houston last week. 36-29 the final, a 19-point lead, the largest blown lead in franchise history for the Jaguars. How do you expect, Bucky, this team to bounce back from such a performance? And, yeah, we've seen performances not as this bad, clearly, because it's the largest in team history, but in seasons where it's, 1-8, the record at this point. I mean, they're 5-4. They're still in the hunt. How does this team respond this week I think is a really big question for this group.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be some hesitation and some trepidation when you lose a game like that. And that hesitation won't start at the beginning of the game. It won't happen to the mid to end of the game, the third, fourth quarter. If you have a lead, can you hold on to it? Because for 2 weeks in a row, we saw a team really struggle in the fourth quarter closing out a game. And it's not just the defense, because everyone is talking about, the lack of pass rush, the coverage, and this and that. Complementary football requires everyone to do their job in those moments. As much as we can talk about the lack of pass rush and the coverage and the penalties and those things, the offense certainly didn't help them out by being able to get first downs, shrink the game, limit the total number of possessions in the fourth quarter. Everyone's to blame. And so from coaches to players to, even I played a part. I probably didn't do a good job in the fourth quarter either. Like, everybody has to re-examine themselves and reassess the process and figure out how they can get better. But it's not good enough. It's a little mental block that they're going to have to work through it. But if they work through it, they can get back on track. But yeah, it's going to be there. I can't sit here and say like, oh, no, they'll just be able to play. No, it'll be there. It'll just be there late in the game, not necessarily the beginning.
Well, I'll tell you who did do a good job in the fourth quarter was me. I had to rewrite 3 stories on the fly. So, look,
I did a good job researching historical collapses. I did a great job with that.
There's nothing cruddier for a writer than a big-time comeback in the last 7 minutes. So I'm being facetious there. Look, I think one thing that has to be kept in mind for this team, big comebacks are much, much easier now than they used to be. It's much more common to see that. So the historical stuff, I get that. It was a horrible loss. I'm not saying there's anything good about it. But, it happens more because of rules now than it used to. So it's a little more common. So you can't say, well, you guys stink because that happened. You can recover from this. What I wonder is what Bucky sort of alluded to. I think you can scheme things away for a while in a game. And then once the fourth quarter hits or once late in the game, teams sort of figure out they've been testing it all game. Okay, now we see what the weaknesses are. I do think there's a concern with them not getting home, not being able to get home with 4, having to blitz. I mean, after a while, JP, you and I talk about all the time, you figure a team out as you're covering them. Mm-hmm. Well, through 8 or 9 weeks, you figure out this team has trouble getting home with 4. The blitz hasn't worked. You add that with a secondary that is without Eric Murray, without some of its guys.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis.
Bucky, is that I'll bet the Chargers know that. I bet they can figure that out. Is that something that you just can't overcome? I don't want to sound like a non-believer right now, but is that a thing that is too much of a thing for the Jaguars to overcome?
They can look. They have no choice. They can overcome it, but it requires everyone to play better. And to get everyone to play better, I mean, it's going to sound crazy. They probably have to do fewer things than they're already doing.
Absolutely.
You got to get these young guys up to play. You have so many new people in new, more prominent positions that you just got to simplify everything. And so if they used to carry 5 calls, now you got to cut it down to 3 calls and see if they can get really good at those things. Because let's be honest, in the National Football League, you're not tricking anybody. Everyone knows what you do. It comes down to a matter of execution. The Jaguars have to execute better. And the other thing that the Jaguars have to do, they have got to get out of the penalty game. The penalties are really killing them, because if you go back and you really look at the game, there are times on defense they're off the field, but then there's some kind of penalty that keeps them and extends the drive. On offense, the same thing. Like both sides of the ball, they just have to put their hands in their pocket and just avoid the penalties, because the penalties are really hurting them. And so we can talk about the execution of those things, but they got to take care of the things they control. The penalties are controllable.
9 penalties in the game against the Texans accepted. Now 83 accepted for the season. That's tied for the most accepted penalties in the National Football League. It's been a storyline all season long. We'll come back in a moment and take a look at this week's opponent, the L.A. Chargers, who are in the race in the AFC West. Justin Herbert and company. And Jags fans, if you want customized Jags furniture for your home, check out ZipChair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. For over 50 years, Fields Auto Group has been America's premier family-owned luxury auto group, selling the most iconic brands in the world. We understand the luxury customer and provide an extraordinary car buying and service experience. It's not just about selling cars. Fields is focused on building lifelong relationships. We invite you to visit Fields and enjoy an honest and memorable luxury car buying experience.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sales event, buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 full years. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable all year round. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home design consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
The kick is up. It's good! Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub, online or in the app, for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You probably already know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider for the Jaguars. I've been a client for more than 30 years because they're from here, and like you, they've been Jaguar fans from the beginning. So for any prearranged transportation needs, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
Yeah, it's definitely a test. I mean, it's every week is a test of your team and your locker room and your culture. I mean, in this league, it's, win or lose, it's a challenge. It's hard to win. It's as you can see, it's a week-to-week league, and you got to bring your best and you got to finish these games. I think it's a learning lesson for our team. I mean, we've played fairly well in 1-score games this year. If you look at, especially compared to last year, that was something that we struggled with and made that improvement. And obviously, we didn't get it done last week. We didn't finish the game well, and we own that, and we have to move on and go try to beat a really good Chargers team this week.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback, earlier today. Full press conference at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. And welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. And the Jags are gearing up to face the Chargers this Sunday. It is the annual Salute to Service game. We'll honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Get your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. two teams in the playoff picture. Certainly the Chargers in the mix in the very talented AFC West. And if not winning that division, fighting for a wild card spot. The Jags, of course, a little behind in the division race, but right there in the 7 seed currently in the AFC playoff chase. And JP Shadrick, John Oehser here in Jacksonville, Bucky Brooks out in Los Angeles. Let's look at this 7-3 Chargers team, and I guess you can start right there at on offense with the quarterback and Justin Herbert, the number one quarterback in the league in terms of completions and attempts. He's second in the league in passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. He can run the football as well. Bucky, he's got it all. So what's the key to defending a quarterback like Herbert?
Well, the best way to defend him is to be able to get constant pressure around him. And for all the great things that the Chargers have done, they have struggled in pass protection. Both of their starting offensive tackles are out. Rashawn Slater had an early injury, preseason training camp, and then you have Joe Alt, who is also out. So now they're playing with some backups along the front line, which can hinder what they want to do from the pocket with Justin Herbert. Regarding Herbert, though, he is terrific. I mean, he is someone who I would say an extension of what Trevor Lawrence is, but he has been more consistent for longer. This is a guy that can run on the perimeter. He can make every throw that you want to see. He has great leadership ability despite having a quiet demeanor. And Jim Harbaugh has just filled him full of swag and confidence like he's done the rest of the team. And so he feels like he's a superhero, speaking of John's superpowers, when he's on the field. And that's just what it's going to be. We have to find a way to deal with him because he's terrific. He's right now playing like a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, Bucky, you watch and analyze more of the league than I do. I think Justin Herbert's the best or the most underrated elite guy in the league. I would take him up with that group, maybe not Josh Allen, but, you know, he doesn't quite feel like he's at that point this year, but my guess is it's mainly because of what's going on around him. I think he's at that level with those other guys.
You know, I'm going to say this, and I said this when Trevor was coming out. I felt like Trevor was a clone of Justin Herbert, that at his best he would be like Justin Herbert. I actually felt like Trevor had more talent. He hasn't played to that level, but I think they're very similar in terms of style of play, what they bring to the table, even their demeanor and their leadership ability. The thing about Justin Herbert that has helped is, look, early on, you talk about the receivers around him, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, big-body guys that expanded the strike zone. They had a connection. And then Harbaugh has come and given them the running game. So they've taken some pressure off of him initially, and then he's come back to be the playmaker that they want him to be. I'll say this, man, he just has the goods. The one thing, though, when you look at them, he will turn the ball over. He has 8 interceptions. It is not like he's been highly efficient in avoiding the negative play. He has some turnovers. And so if you're the Jags, you got to heat him up, find a way to get pressure around him. And then when he does put the ball in harm's way, you got to pick it off.
Yeah, JP, it's funny. You know, you analyze games every week, sort of knowing that whatever happens on the field, half the time when you analyze it, it's a completely different game than what you thought it was going to be, right? This one feels like if they can get to the quarterback, if they can pressure, then they got a shot. The thing that worries you is they haven't done that.
No.
So it's like the nice thing is Camp can stand in front of the room and say, this is what we got to do. Well, if you can't do it, then that's really bad because these guys can beat you. You know, so it's sort of, well, if we can do this, but if we can't, it's trouble. So they got to get home. Yeah,
12 sacks for the season for the Jaguars, tied for the lowest in the NFL. There's 2 players in the league that have 11 sacks solo this year. So that's kind of where the Jaguars have been so far in the pass rush. Quickly on some of these skill players here, Ladd McConkey, of course, at wide receiver. You've got Keenan Allen, who's been at it forever, who's still playing at a high level. The tight end Gadsden has stepped in there, Bucky, and played pretty good too.
Yeah, Ronnie Gadsden Jr. has stepped in and been kind of like a version of his dad. His dad was a big-body receiver that caught a ton of passes down in Miami, and Gadsden Jr., coming from Syracuse, has done the same thing. Immediately developed a connection with Justin Herbert, and because the Chargers are so good on the outside. Quentin Johnson has really stepped up. You think about Ladd McConkey being the number one. Keenan Allen continuing to slay people as a number 3 receiver. There's room for the tight end to get open. They're very tough to defend because they can run it. The quarterback is good. He also can run it. And then they have a bunch of crafty little wideouts making plays on the perimeter. The thing about it is you almost have to take a page from their book defensively. The Chargers want to play a bend but don't break style and then really focus on being great in the red zone. For the Jags, if you realistically come in and say, hey, they're gonna get yards. They're going to move the ball up and down the field. They'll have some yards between the 30s. But we just need to bog down in the red zone and make them kick field goals as opposed to scoring touchdowns. 3s over 7s is the way to go. If they do that, then Jaguars can win.
Let's come back in a moment. We'll take a look at the Chargers defense, dig in a little deeper there, and yes, the defensive coverage of the game. All that coming up as the Jaguars prepare to entertain the LA Chargers in Week 11, a battle of teams that, if it ended today, would be in the playoffs. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
We have vehicles on the ground and ready to go. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs. Stop searching for your next luxury vehicle and see Fields first.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Right now, save up to $10,000 on remaining new 2024 Porsche models in stock at Porsche Jacksonville. Go to PorscheJacksonville.com.
Huddle up, My Gate Rewards members. Football is back. Celebrate with the Duval Meal Deal at Gate. Right now, grab a personal pizza and any 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.99. No matter what combo you choose, this meal's the perfect play. Happening now through January 5th, 2026. See store for details. A deal that's a victory for every fan. Gates got you.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
Hey sports fans, CSX is delivering big wins. Every day, CSX is on the move, delivering the freight that keeps America on track. From raw materials to finished goods, we connect businesses and communities across the nation with safe, reliable rail transportation. Just like your favorite team, CSX is built on teamwork, precision, and a commitment to excellence. From moving freight efficiently to supporting local economies, CSX is always pulling for progress. CSX, we're pulling for America.
I think they're extremely sticks aware from their second to third level of their defense. The rush has obviously done a nice job getting some pressure and being able to affect the quarterback. But I think Jesse Minter does a great job. I got a lot of respect for him. And the zone coverages, they're very aware, and they do a nice job of pattern matching.
Hey, Coach Liam Cohen earlier today talking about the Chargers' third down success, both sides of the ball, really. He talked about the offense also, but this Chargers defense, fourth in the league on third downs this year, 34%. And welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville, Bucky out in Los Angeles, and we dig deeper into this Chargers defense. He talked there on the third downs of the second and third levels, sticks aware, knowing exactly where the football needs to be for them to have success and tackle short of the stick, certainly. But they do have guys up front that can play. Bucky, Khalil Mack still right there at the top. Tuli Pelotu, did I say that? Yeah, I did say that right. 8 sacks on the year. He had a 4-sack game earlier in the season, and now has a sack in 3 straight games. So they have some edge players that can get after it, Bucky.
Yeah, they do. And a lot of what they do is predicated on being able to get after it and what they call simulated pressures, meaning it's a 4-man rush, but that fourth rush is going to come from the second or third level. What that does for the offense is trying to identify who is the fourth guy. So you're playing a bit of a game of Marco Polo or Where's Waldo, whichever is your game of choice. You got to figure out who's the other guy that is coming. Now, what Liam is talking through, and I think is really important for the people that are watching the game on Sunday to make the distinction between being a spot drop team, which is kind of like what the Jags are. They get the spots, they read the quarterback, they slide and move based on the vision of the quarterback, versus a pattern match team. Meaning what they're doing is playing like a matchup man-to-man where they take and carry people to certain spots, then they pass them off to another defender. And that is the best way they have the tightest coverage while also playing zone. And when he talks about being sticks aware, it means that they understand down and distance. Oh, it's 3rd and 7. We're going to play right at the sticks. Make sure you throw it in front of the sticks, and then we're going to rally and tackle and get off the field. So it's not only schematics, but it's the intelligence and the awareness of the group that allows this defense to play at a high level.
I'm going to ask something of the analyst that is probably pretty self-evident, but really, except for Cincinnati, to me, the Jaguars, the games where they've gotten bit have been against Seattle, L.A., and Houston. I haven't seen every team in the league, but I'd probably put those defensive fronts in the top 6 or 7 in the league. How dominant Chargers defensive front, because that's really what has tripped this team up more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The teams that we've struggled with are the teams that have been able to really kick our teeth in at the point of attack.
Yeah.
The Chargers certainly have that capability. With Khalil Mack, some of the other guys, they're rotating in. I mean, they just traded for Adafe, and then he is coming. He has 4 sacks, and he's been able to be productive, and they're doing it by committee. But a lot of what they do is, yes, the talent is great, but it's also some of the smoke and mirror tactics that we talk about. Who's the 4th guy? How are we going to slide and protect to him? They show one hand, and then they hit you with the other hand. It's a lot going on. And so for Trevor, he's going to have to identify it. He's going to have to know exactly where to go with the ball fairly quickly. And then you got to deal with the tight, sticky coverage that looks like man, plays like man, but it's not man-to-man. So it throws off some of the rules that you have for man coverage. Very good scheme. A simplistic scheme with some higher nuanced stuff, but it's one that they play very, very well.
Time for our defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. We take a look again at the quarterback battle this week and the career numbers for Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. Herbert one more year, but they have the same amount of interceptions in their career. Herbert with that extra season. But you see the difference in touchdowns, nearly double the touchdowns through the air for Herbert, and the rating much higher for Justin Herbert so far. 5th season for Lawrence, and trying to get things going after some injuries the last couple years for Trevor. And there's been a lot of talk this week already, Bucky, from the head coach, from Trevor Lawrence himself today, about, you know what, let it rip, go let it go, playing free. All those phrases have been used today. What does that mean, and how does that match up against the Chargers defense?
Yeah, I think you don't want to be passive, because what they'll do is they'll force you into a check down Charlie game where all you're doing is dumping off to the back and they're rallying and tackling, and you'll see them at the end of the play holding their fist up like 4th down, they got to punt. So you got to push the ball down the field. You're going to have to make some tight windows throws, but you have to be smart when you do that. This is a team that, look, they're going to put the pressure on the quarterback to make good decisions, and you have to make good decisions. So it's that fine line between being reckless and being aggressive. He needs to be aggressive, but not reckless, because if he's reckless, they're going to have a lot of interceptions, there's going to be a lot of turnovers, and the Chargers are going to have plenty of opportunities to put points on the board.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
No, that would be bad for business.
Close out. That's Huddle Up. I think, too, what Liam, he clearly today, I won't say went out of his way, but shared that he had talked to Trevor about letting it rip. He really didn't have to make that public if he didn't want to. So it seems to me that it's more of just sort of, it's not necessarily talking about playing the Chargers. It's more, hey, it's okay for Trevor to take some chances. It's more of a philosophical thing, meaning over the course of the last 10 games, it's almost like, hey, we'll take an extra interception every couple of games if we can get him throwing it 20 yards downfield, looking at it and saying, hey, I see BTJ there. The safety might be close to range, but we're going to let it rip and we're going to play it. We're not going to worry about that read. That's the one we want. That's the pre-snap read. We got to go after it. So I think it's more of just a philosophical over the course of a long term. We're going to get more out of aggressiveness than we're going to lose with,
check downs,
7 interceptions over a 10-game period that we might not otherwise have had. So I think they just want to go downfield more and go after it. Don't be scared of success. It's what I always tell people when I'm behind them and they won't drive.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be scared to go.
Yeah.
Press the accelerator.
The gas pedal's on the left.
That's one of my favorites. I like that. Don't be afraid to be great.
Right.
Like, so if you're Trevor Lawrence, I think what Liam is alluding to, and I think there is this sense of frustration from the offense that there have been some explosive plays that have been available. Mm-hmm. And it's 1 or 2 plays a game where you see a deep ball that is just narrowly missed, overthrown, underthrown, failed to come down, dropped, whatever it is. We're not cashing
thrown.
In.
Yeah,
or not thrown.
Hold it.
Yeah, so cautious that we can't do it. So I think what John is saying, are you saying Trevor Lawrence is like Ice and Top Gun? He's waiting for the perfect shot before he takes it. We need him to be a little more like Maverick. Like, he needs to go for it a little more, dial it up, take the shot, and do those things.
Yeah,
it sounds like that's what you're advocating.
And I do think that's understandable. And I get the joke. The whole thing.
No.
I am Maverick, Bucky. I am Maverick. But I'm dangerous.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
But I think it's understandable, considering, for a couple of years it was driven into him not to make mistakes. I mean, there's a little bit of that. I also think your new offense, I'm not using that as an excuse, but there's been a lot going on mentally this year. He even alluded today on the podium. He had some early interceptions, wanted to get away from that. And sometimes I think it is okay for a coach to say, hey, kid, just go. Just run. Just, hit your best serve. Don't lob it in. So I think there is an element of that, of wanting him to go after it a little more in the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if you're Liam Cohen and you've seen like a Baker Mayfield who plays fearlessly in the pocket, you've seen Matthew Stafford and those guys, even Jared Goff for a little bit, like play fearlessly in terms of just letting the ball go, get to the step, hit it, and just rip it and make it happen and trust that your receivers are going to make some plays. I think it can be hard when you have a quarterback that is trying to be so perfect that he just won't try the high risk throw because he doesn't want it to be a mistake or a turnover. Sometimes, man, you just got to trust it, trust your eyes, and let it go, and hopefully your receivers can bail you out.
We'll return with a final look at this Chargers-Jaguars matchup this Sunday, Week 11 at Everbank Stadium. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
For a limited time, get $3,000 off all Lexus TX350s in stock at Lexus of Jacksonville and Lexus of Orange Park.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Ever see someone walking with a weighted pack around Jacksonville? That's rucking, with an R, moving with weight on your back. It builds strength, endurance, and crushes calories. After my wife and I served post 9/11, we started Go Ruck, a family business rooted in service and community, proud to call Jack's home. Go Ruck, built in Jacksonville, rucking everywhere in the world. Check out our gear at goruck.com. That's GORUCK.com.
Yeah, we do need to respond. It is part of us. And, we talked a lot about today that the soul of sport is team. The soul of sport. Why do we want our kids to play sport? Because of the lessons that it does and provides you as people, as teammates, as men. And that connection is what's going to get us over the hump in those moments and in a tough time like coming off a loss like Sunday.
Head coach Liam Cohen earlier today, full press conference at Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube as well. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. And on Tuesday, November 18th from 5 to 6 p.m., head to Publix at University Square. That's 2875 University Boulevard. BJ Green, Danny Strigo, Bayshole Tootin, and Colin Saunders of the Jaguars with Jacksonville and the Roar for a special appearance. You'll meet them all there at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Chargers-Jaguars matchup this Sunday, delivered by CSX. And the first time these teams have met since the wild card playoff game after the 2022 season, a game in which the Jaguars trailed 27-0 with 4 first-half interceptions from Trevor Lawrence. He threw a touchdown before halftime, 3 more in the second half, and you know the rest. Jaguars got the job done. It was a decent night at the bank that night. For those who didn't leave at halftime, though I know a few that did.
Well, and the Chargers about 5 or 6 years ago, I remember, were sort of a thing for this franchise. Like, you couldn't beat them.
Oh, it was Phillip Rivers, man. Yeah, he was killing us.
And that's really not – I don't think they've won the last 3, but they've won 3 that I can sort of recall off the top of my head. So that's not a thing, but it is it's a really important game to me, Bucky, for them to – I don't want to say they have to win it, because the Chargers are a good team. I mean, you want to win it, but the Chargers are good. If you lose this, the schedule still maps out. I mean, you can still get in, but I think they need to play well. I would worry if it's a Rams type game on type. Like if you follow the pattern of Seattle lost, then Rams, it just goes away. And the Chargers are capable of doing that. So I think after the Houston game, I think it's really important for this team to play well, for them to, hit back physically, to be them, and build something going forward. You don't want to have a 26-0 fourth quarter, and then a bad game on Sunday, and then everybody writing, "No, they've been outscored XXX for the last 5 quarters."
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that not happen.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see which team shows up on Sunday, because this is a test that Liam has kind of talked about since he took the job. You talked about you're going to have to deal with adversity. You got to have a tough team, a tough-minded team that can bounce back and weather the storm. Well, the storm is here, because everyone in the football world is going to expect the Jaguars to lay down against the Chargers, coming on the heels of falling apart in the fourth quarter, and they have a chance to kind of rewrite their narrative. And honestly, I would say the confidence that we had coming out of San Francisco, when we beat a good San Francisco team on the road, and we begin to feel like, oh, okay, this team may be legit. A win against the Chargers would validate that feeling and give this team the confidence that they need to really attack the stretch run. If you don't get it and you don't play well, then you begin to wonder, okay, you're 5-5, you're 500, yeah, you can get in, but it's not the same kind of swagger. My hope for the team is that they play well enough that they can use this as a springboard to a really fantastic finish.
Yeah, and along those lines, from a playoff watching the big board scenario, this is a more important game than last week, or potentially more important. if you get this, you've got tiebreaker edges on LA and Kansas City, by the way.
Big.
So, and I get because you didn't beat Houston, you let them back in a little bit. But it's as important on those lines. The Colts are up. It's going to be hard to catch the Colts. I'm not saying they can't. But that end of the season stuff, the Chargers and the Chiefs figure the way Denver's playing could easily be wild card-ish type teams. So it's big on that front. Like you said, if you get this one, you're 6-4, and you
need 4 more. You need 4 more. If you get this one, then you just need 4 out of the remaining schedule,
right,
to be able to get in. And you think about, no disrespect to Tennessee, like no disrespect to Arizona, and then the Jets. I mean, like there's a path for you to clear it to be able to say, hey, we're going in and we got the pom-poms and we're going. But you want to get this one so that you can have some wiggle room down the stretch.
Yeah, coming into this 2-game stretch, you would have said if you get one of them, meaning Houston or the Chargers, you feel good. The Texans game felt like a gut punch because of the quarterback. But overall, looking at the schedule, you would have thought, okay, split with the Texans. They won the division last year. You know, that would have felt like, okay, it's very possible to lose that game. But now that you've lost that, it makes Sunday really important.
Certainly does. Chargers currently the 5 seed, 7-3 record. The Jaguars currently the 7 seed, 5-4 record. With a lot of football still to be played, but it's getting to mid-November, and the games get really important from here on out.
Soon, there's not a lot of football left to be played.
Right. That's usually how it goes down, John. Thanks. Right. Especially after Thanksgiving. The weeks start going away.
There's less and less football to be played as we move on.
As the season
maybe it should be the John Ogier Huddle Up podcast after that.
I mean, maybe we can let your name on the marquee. It's all good.
I mean, no, that's what we're paying you for. That's big, Johnny. Bucky, enjoyed it as always. Have a great week. We'll talk to you this weekend.
See you, Buck.
Let's do it.
Bucky Brooks out in Los Angeles. He's not coming over with the Chargers, though. He'll come separate. Maybe.
If it was the Raiders, he might.
His other podcast partner will be coming with the Chargers, though. DJ.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He's the analyst.
Right. Yeah.
That's John Ogier. I'm JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Bucky Brooks. Thanks to our entire crew as well. Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. Thanks to you for watching us. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.